Hey guys, it's Optimus Prime. I'm back with another video, and today, after getting back from New York Comic Con, I have a lot of Transformers news to try to catch you guys up on, and it's quite a bit, and it's really awesome, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Okay, so the first bit of news that I want to talk to you guys about has to do with a lot of the new Transformers toy reveals that happened during New York Comic Con. Some of the stuff that I also talked about on Wednesday, they showed even more on Thursday. But unfortunately, because there was a series of events that ended up happening that made me get to New York City late, which I will talk about when I do my recap video for New York Comic Con, either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll have that video out for you guys, but pretty much I ended up missing quite a bit of it. But fortunately, the other news sites were able to get some of this information that I'm able to share with you guys, because a lot of it is exciting. And some of you already know about the 35th anniversary cel-shaded Optimus Prime and Megatron that you can see here. Cybertron.com was, I guess, front row and center to see these toys, you know, in their full glory, which they're basically the Siege toys recolored to be a little bit more cartoon accurate with some cel-shaded paint, which I'll be honest with you, now after seeing it, I'm glad I just customized my Megatron, and I may customize him a little bit more to make him even more cartoon accurate, which you'll see, you know, if I end up doing that, because I do like the cel shaded colors here, but it's, I don't know, I'm kind of like torn, especially with the new reveals that they started showing off. And the big reveal that they showed, which I'm going to zoom in on here, is Starscream and a Titan class figure that this is the a component for. And of course, I'm giving you guys little tidbits of hints. When I got into the Javits Center, once I got to the panel, this robot right here was headless, and John Warden was putting the head on him. And the reason why this is important is because this is Titan class Scorponok. That's right, next year they're doing a Titan class figure. It's going to be Scorponok. You can already see it with the arm parts there, that those are like Scorponok's horns. So he's basically going to transform into Scorponok's head. And he looks really cool for a prototype. I'd like to see what the finished, you know, head looks like when he transforms. Unfortunately, I was all the way like behind like the seated chairs. There was like the entire panel was full. There was no real place for me to sit comfortably and be able to get like any images for you. But they did show off this Starscream. And the reason why showing off this Starscream is important is because it is part of the new wave of Transformers. Those who had press invite only, I might have had press badges, but I did not get the invite to go to this event. Hasbro invited a select number of people to see their diorama, which was not at the Javits Center. It was actually at their own off-site area where they were showing it off, and they showed off quite a bit of new toys. Their big diorama, which you can see here, has a lot of reveals, and a lot of it is just, it blew me away when I saw the images online. I was literally kicking myself that I did not get to see this firsthand, because I really wanted to see what these toys looked like and what, you know, how they scaled with each other and how they looked next to each other, because they're awesome. Straight up. This is the new Transformers Earthrise, you know, diorama that they had with all of these toys on display, and I was just like, wow. And one of the big reveals they had here was Wheeljack. And I already have the Generations Universe Wheeljack that was also remolded into, you know, tracks. But this Wheeljack looks, in my opinion, looks a lot better. I mean, granted, this is the prototype, so you can kind of see the lettering that they have on it. And the robot mode looks fantastic. The head sculpt looks great. I think it looks even more cartoon accurate than previous versions of Wheeljack, and you can kind of see some of the detailing on him. His feet remind me of Sunstreaker. I honestly wonder if this is a pre-tool for Sunstreaker. I would not be surprised if we're going to see him later on in the line, because it's clear that this is the version. I think this is going to end up being Sunstreaker in the future. And I know I'm talking about a future possibility of a toy, but this Wheeljack looks fantastic, and I would not be surprised if they reuse the mold for that purpose. The car that I'm showing here is Cliffjumper, and if you notice something, that he's not a super deformed Koro Q style Porsche 924. He is more of the actual car itself, probably remolded slightly so it doesn't resemble the real car like it does, but he has a giant bazooka. And the reason why he has that giant bazooka, and you can get another look at the car here, the bazooka itself can actually detach and become hydrofoils, just like his cartoon appearance in Dinobot Island 2, Part 2. And I think he used the hydrofoils as well in what was it, the Ultimate Doom, if I remember correctly. And so you can actually reenact that with this version of Cliffjumper. And getting a closer look at his robot mode, it looks awesome with this bazooka. What I'm really curious about, and I talked about this in my live stream, and Anthony, who runs tfu.info, told me that the robot mode is smaller than a deluxe class toy, but he's taller than your Legends class. So I think he's gonna be, if not the same height, but maybe taller than Titan's Return Bumblebee, but he's gonna be a little bit shorter because of all of the extra bits. He's gonna be a little bit shorter than the deluxe class Sideswipe from Siege. So this will scale correctly, at least we hope so, for Cliffjumper. And his robot mode looks really, really cool. Getting a closer look, I'm so glad that this is not a remold of Bumblebee. A lot of people complain that Cliffjumper ends up always being the remold of Bumblebee, and he always ends up getting killed in other series. But this Cliffjumper in particular looks fantastic for the robot mode. The only thing that I would probably say that I don't care for with his robot mode is that he has red arms, and I'm like, great, now I'm gonna have to end up painting him. That's what I'm gonna end up having to do with some of these Siege toys. I mean, these new Earthrise toys. If they're not colored cartoon correctly, a lot of people are gonna end up either repainting them or doing their own thing with them, because he looks great as Cliffjumper as is. There's nothing wrong with the all red arms and everything, but if you're familiar with the character, he actually had black shoulders and gray forearms, in addition to the black fists. So that's something that some people might end up doing when they get the toy. This one in particular, Hoist, I was really impressed to see Hoist, because if you saw my video on Wednesday when I talked about him, I said that if they do Grapple, they need to do Hoist, and if they do Hoist, they need to remold him as Trailbreaker. Well, it seems that not only are we getting Grapple, but we're also getting Hoist. And Hoist looks amazing, and I really hope we see Trailbreaker out of him. And what I like about this particular version of Hoist is that not only is he a lot more cartoon accurate, you can see the the head sculpting there. Instead of a green head, he's got a black head, just like his cartoon appearance. Is that he also can, when he is in vehicle mode, this whole backpack here, which is basically his tow truck part itself, can unfold and can tow another car. But some of the battle masters that they're going to be releasing out of Earthrise are going to be able to connect to him. He'll also be able to connect to other they'll be able to connect to the Micromaster bases, and that's kind of the whole point, to be able to build bridges with all of these toys. And you can see the backpack there. I'm guessing that you can probably fold out those wings so you can kind of get that cartoon accurate feel to him. He's got all the 5mm ports Speaking of, while we're looking at Hoist, notice the back of Optimus Prime. Notice that the transformation is very different. The wheels don't fold in the same way as they do with the Siege toy. From what I've found out is that this version of Optimus Prime, the Earthrise Optimus, uses some of the same parts, but has a completely different transformation. He actually is molded slightly differently to create a different version of Optimus in comparison to his to the actual Siege toy. So it's not a straight remold. It's actually like they use some of the same parts, but a lot of the parts are brand new to create this Earth style truck. The tires don't look as good as I think that they could be. I think that maybe the tires are a little too thin, in my opinion, especially those front tires when he's in truck mode. But otherwise, he looks fantastic, and I'm glad that we're getting a Earth style with trailer Optimus Prime, and he looks fantastic. Here's the major issue that I have with the toy. Why did they decide to give him gray fists? Come on, guys. His fists are supposed to be blue. We know this. This is like the one change that they shouldn't have done, and it looks like from the molding is that the hands actually have a grip, so you can have him hold his gun, by just opening and closing his fists, which is actually a good thing because it means that he can hold his gun probably a little bit better because of the way that it's molded, and you can kind of get like opening and closing fist of articulation. The waist is different than the Siege toy. A lot of parts, I'm gonna end up having to paint some parts blue, and the head, it looks like it's the same head as the Siege Optimus. So again, what I'm gonna end up probably doing is I'm gonna end up taking that head off and putting the Siege head on here, because some people really like the yellow eyes and some people like the blue eyes. I prefer the blue eyes. So I'll put the yellow eyes one on the other one, and I'll put the blue eyes one on here, because to me that would be better for Optimus, in my opinion. And from his front truck mode, I do like the molding. I think that this molding is done really well to give an Earth truck that we have not seen before. Well, it's G1 Prime. Come on, it's just G1 Prime. But this Starscream, now something that's interesting about this Starscream is that it is the same transformation almost as the classics mold for Starscream. What they decided to do was upscale him to a Voyager class toy. So he's not the same size toy that he was before. Instead, what you're getting is a Voyager Starscream. It's the classics mold done with some extra parts here and there. So he has like a little extra stability in his heels, and the blasters on his arms are a little bit more cartoon accurate. And there are some differences here and there, like the wings are a little bit hollow, which some people don't particularly care for, but the nose cone itself for his plane mode does kind of fold on his back, which is very, very similar to that classics mold. It seems to actually do it a lot better. And what's really nice is his jet mode. This jet mode is a lot more cartoon accurate than I think than the classics mold is. In a sense that it's got a little bit of a grander scale. I also like the fact that it has a 5mm port there, so you can attach different weapons. The null ray cannons can have the blast effects, which you can add on, and it has that same transformation, so it gives you a really awesome looking Starscream. A lot of people wanted to see Grapple, what he fully looks like, and he's really, really orange. I think he can benefit from having a little bit extra paint apps. I know it's not completely cartoon accurate. It would maybe be a little bit more toy accurate, but I think a black helmet works better. But then what they're going to end up probably doing is making the black helmet for Inferno. But Grapple is really, really bright orange. This orange, in my opinion, is very, like, it's kind of like got that paleness to it, that I wonder if this is the orange that the final version of Unicron is going to end up being, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And there we have Grapple in vehicle mode, which you can actually see him moving some stuff around, as well as wheeljack in car mode. Notice something on this wheeljack is that says 638 instead of 539. That is a difference between the original toy, because it was, I guess, the licensed car. This is not the licensed car, so they basically tried to make it look similar to the Lancia Stratos, and at the same time make this, you know, able to be sold without any worry about, you know, them coming after them for using the license to the car. And getting a closer look at this matrix, the matrix itself is actually removable from what I've been told. You can open up the chest, the matrix does come out, and Optimus can hold it. So you can reenact the whole scene of him taking the matrix out and either passing it or maybe having him use it. And that's what I've been told. Obviously they didn't have any images of it for us to be able to see it, but it still is cool nonetheless that the matrix is in his chest. And getting a closer look at Ironworks, this robot mode is very unique. I really dig it, and I wonder where else they're going to end up using it, because you know they're going to end up recoloring him to be something different. Maybe they might change the head, or you use some of the same molding for another, like, you know, Micromaster base, but either way, he still looks fantastic. But now with the official renders, this is Sound Barrier, who is going to be a new character. He is a Battle Master that transforms into a shield. The shield can connect to, like, Hoist or to Ironworks to basically create, like, whole, like, roadways for the Micromasters to drive on. And that's kind of the whole theme, is that you can build these play sets out of, you know, for the Micromasters. And it's as well as creating shields for other characters to use. So here is actually Sound Barrier, you know, on, you know, Ironworks, and you can see him attached there. And I'm guessing you can probably attach the other parts to, you know, to Ironworks however you need to. But also, the Decepticons also have new Micromasters coming as well. This is their military patrol with Bomb Shock, and he transforms into a tank. And you also have Growl, who transforms into an orange battle car, and both of them look really cool. If you're collecting Micromasters, I definitely recommend getting them, because, you know, it's really cool that they're bringing back these Micromasters again. And a lot of people are after things like Big Daddy, or as he's known as Daddy-O, you know, turning into this hot rod car. And this is Wheeljack here with Sound Barrier used as a shield. That's kind of like the whole idea, is that you can use him as a shield. It is a cool thing to see. Here's Cliffjumper in vehicle mode, and as I talked about before, he can do the whole hydrofoil thing, you know, using the parts of the blaster. And I think it's really, really cool that they've decided to add this feature into the toy. And this itself is the logo that they are using for Earthrise. Basically, they're using the same lettering as Siege. It's just now with smaller letters. For Earthrise, it's the second part of the War for Cybertron Trilogy, and we know we're going to end up seeing a lot more toys out of this. In the meantime, Siege still has some toys coming out up until the end of the year, and we're going to see things like Rung, we're going to see more Battle Masters, we're going to see Ratbat and Rumble, or Frenzy, or whichever one you prefer with that. Here's Crosshairs, which you can see in robot mode. As I've said before, he's supposed to be a Target Master, and I'm going to end up using a Target Master for him that he's supposed to end up having. He's a remold, or basically they changed his head out for Ironhide, and it's actually not a bad looking toy. I think this mold works better for Crosshairs in some ways than Ironhide, and I'm wondering if we're going to see an Earthrise Ironhide and Ratchet. That would be really, really cool. And we finally get a look at Apeface. This I was really, really happy to see Apeface, how he looks, you know, in person. From what I can tell, man, this is cool, because the whole head could turn around, because the one side of the head is for Apeface's robot mode, and the other side is for his ape face, which can connect to this when he is in ape mode. And he also has a spaceship mode. And Astro Train, I'm really excited to see this Astro Train. I know some people are complaining that his size is not that good, but he is perfectly in scale with Shockwave. So he's the same size in robot mode, and when you add like the extra bits to him, it gives him a little bit of extra heft and a little bit of extra height, which I think works for him very well. Spinister looks fantastic. I'm very, very impressed with Spinister. I'm trying to make sure I say that correctly because I have a, it's so easy to just say Spinster, but it's Spinister, like sinister. But that's always how I read it whenever I read the comic book. And I'm really excited to see him because some people want the full team of Spinister. I think it was Needlenose, not Bludgeon. I know it was Thunderwing's team, and so I'd like to see all of Thunderwing's Decepticon team, you know, show up in the War for Cybertron trilogy. And we have news about Unicron. I had done my live stream in front of Unicron, which I will talk about when I do my recap of New York Comic Con. But while this thing was on display, everybody who was there was excited. They were like, what? It has this? What? It has that? What? You could do this? Oh my God, I have to get this. Oh my God, I have to get this. So to all the people who are saying, like, who are naysaying the Unicron getting made, people at New York Comic Con really wanted this toy. They were like, I don't care how much it costs. $600 is the same cost as a statue. This is not a statue, it's an action figure that's getting made. I'm buying this thing. I kid you not, I was talking to people while they were browsing Unicron. I was like basically like a salesman for Unicron in a way. And I wasn't trying to be. I really wasn't trying to be a salesman for him. But he reached his deadline. And he reached his deadline like it went way past the number of backers needed. And they were really smart in extending this thing through October 6th because the people who were at New York Comic Con saw it firsthand and they were like, I don't care, I'm buying it. And you know, I would love to back this thing myself, but it's already past its deadline and I don't have $600. I need $600 for rent. So, you know, I'm very happy to see this thing made. It's pretty much, I had this discussion with Jim Sorensen, who is the author of the Transformers Visual History book, which I will be doing some stuff with the book with that this week. And I'll be giving you guys some videos on that. But he and I both kind of agree that, you know, the people who really want this thing and have the space for it, more power to them. For those of us who either don't have the money or don't have the space for it, it's okay, but I still am happy to see this thing made so that people can finally have their version of Unicron that they want. And I'm very, very happy about that. But I wonder what you guys think about all this Transformers news. It's been a lot of stuff at New York Comic Con. A lot of stuff got revealed. A lot of stuff got shown that, you know, I'm still trying to process and digest. And I still have a lot to talk about this week. So, you know, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and check out my other videos as well. I've got more down the pipeline. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.